Are we on? Okay, we are. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. This is Dr. Bill O'Mara on a beautiful Wednesday morning. Kind of cloudy, actually, but that's beautiful, too. As I share a little bit about myself, give you a chance to get to know me and speak about the topic of what is leadership in the 21st century. So if you stumbled upon this video, you either found it on YouTube or the Enlightened Leaders page on Facebook, or you're part of my email list on, it's called centerforleadershipgroup.com. These websites will be listed below. So grab a cup of coffee, make yourself at home, and take this all in. If you have any questions or comments, please write them in the box below, and I'll be happy to address them, or at least it's good to have the dialogue going. So what is leadership? What is leadership? It's probably one of the most talked about topics in the last 50 years. More books have been written about leadership than probably any other topic, next to maybe romance novels, you know. Maybe there's a tip there, right? There's something about relationship in the leadership game that we're also interested in. And since I was a kid, usually you'd hear a lot about the character ethic or the positive thinking ethic. You know, athletes would be quoted, and presidents from Abraham Lincoln and great generals about, you know, what it takes to succeed, and determination and courage, and all of these are essential. They're important parts of our evolution, that we went through those stages and developed those parts. Now in 2013, what is it? What do we do now, you know, to go beyond that? And you hear in many of the lexicons of the books and so forth, you know, social responsibility, ethics, sustainability, conscious capitalism and conscious commerce. A lot of this is coming to the forefront, and it's stirring up a new conversation, which I think is really cool. I look at it, one way I look at it is what I'll call the wellness leader, right? The leader who understands the importance of energy. And I'll explain that in three parts. Number one is that the leader of today has heart, right? It can't just be a head and a bottom line business. It has to be consideration of the whole, the people, the planet, and the profit. So that's a heart thing. It's a caring thing where leaders are pushing back on the old paradigms and the old ways and presenting new ways of operating. It really have to do with caring of the bigger picture, caring about a community, caring about the people who are attracted to your brand, not just that they buy a product, but you actually care about them. There's a resonance in that. There's an attraction, if you've heard of the law of attraction. That is attracting, right, versus repelling, right? And we see many people, consumers, running from old school, old paradigm type of companies. It's a big transformation right now, and the leaders need to go with it. Second is wisdom, that over your long journey, as you've read books and developed quotes and all the things that who you are today, that you can pull those out of your toolkit when you need to and be a great mentor and teacher of others. This is another part of the new paradigm. It's not, you know, creating followers, but creating other leaders. And lastly, skill. The 21st century skills, there's probably many we could talk about. Let's talk about emotional intelligence and social intelligence, dialogue and communication, real communication between people as equals. And of course, the ability for the leader to get together with the other leaders on the team to create a noble purpose and inspire each other every day to be aligned and engaged toward it are beautiful and important skills for the 21st century leader. And yet I wouldn't stop there, because I think if we were to sum up what I believe in my book, The Path of the Enlightened Leaders, it's all about the we. The leader is we, the team. So it doesn't matter, think about this for a second, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO or some high-level person or the President of the United States. You can't do it by yourself. And it's kind of comical every night here in the States, if you watch the evening news, how much the President is talked about, right? And everybody projects their leadership and power and authority issues on him, and he should be doing this and he should be doing that. And really, we're a part of that equation, right? We can, write to the president, and we can get involved in the political spectrum. We can do a whole bunch more than we realize. We have so much more power if we own our own leadership. So let's get back to the we concept, though, because I think that's really where it's at, the high-performance team, that a leader thinks about that. And I have noticed in my book, The Path of Enlightened Leaders, as I was researching it, there are generally three constraints that trip up teams, even if they have most of the things you would think are important in place, right? They have strong, business plan, they have capital, great people, technology, all the stuff we've told are important. They can still be dysfunctional as a team if these three things get to them. Number one, ready? Get your pencil out and journal on this. Number one is what I'll call splintering or silos, right? When I work with a team, I work a lot with hospitality, hotels, restaurants, anything with customer interaction, fitness. Generally speaking, you've got, let's say you have a big hotel in Boston. You have the general manager, and there's 7 or 8 people who run the major departments, director of finance, director of human resource, and so forth. They meet generally once a week, and what I've noticed is once they meet, they all kind of run back to their particular departments, and they run their departments. Their priority in their mind is to make sure the department runs well, and that's important. The question then is that a team? And I would contend it's not, right? They're not really operating together in harmony and synergy towards a noble purpose and 3 key overall goals that they're all responsible for. For example, key overall goals could be something like, gross operating profit, employee engagement, guest satisfaction, and other goals, right? So you could have, for example, let's say you're the director of engineering on this team, and you could be the best engineer on the place in the face of the earth, and the hotel's humming as far as having light bulbs change and the structure is taken care of and everything's maintained, but the hotel could be falling on all these 3 major goals, right? And if that's the case, I think we're kind of out of balance. We need to get back to what it means to be a unified team. The other 2 I'll mention quickly because our time's flying by here is flat energy. As we talked about before, the heart leader, the wellness leader, has to have an ability to attract and retain good talent, good customers, and that happens with a certain way of being. When the energy is flat, right? I've noticed with teams there starts to be a kind of a bickering and a gossip and an upset and a conflict, and then things start to repel, right? And things aren't working together. That's a big issue. And then lastly is the inability to execute on the things that are priorities and to do this execution well, right? With quality and excellence. So flipping these around, the medicine, the solution, right, are the following terms, and I call this the wellness model for the 21st century team, is unity, energy, and impeccability, all wrapped in sustainability. So let's talk about these briefly for a moment now. What does it mean to be a unified team? Well, it means that you've taken the time to understand your noble purpose and mission. You've documented this. You understand your 3 goals and how together, I'll call the big 3s, communication, coordination, cohesion, that together you're really focused on that every week. I've seen teams, completely derailed and results falling apart and, people all upset and owners ready to fire them all, to where just spending a couple of days with my book and with me have transformed the results, to where they're getting engagement back in order and guest satisfaction and profit simply by coming together as a team, documenting it and deciding this is how we're going to operate from now on as a team. I don't think team is in most people's minds when they go to work. They think about their own individual, department. And this is the challenge of today. Make the team priority 1A, make the department priority 1B, and it'll all synergistically work together. The second is energy. I always teach and encourage people to, in your personal life, to meditate, to do yoga, to take walks in nature, do whatever you need to do to fill your energy tank, right? Because you give so much as a leader. You're a servant of others. And to inspire and uplift others, on a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being, depressed and half dead, to 10 being energized, alert, and alive, and ready to serve, where do you need to be as a leader? And it just doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen with, 6 cups of coffee and a pack of cigarettes, unfortunately. So we need some wholesome, healthy ways of creating energy in our bodies and spirits that we come to work, we can uplift others, right? Not just the others and the team, but the customers. Everything is an energy attraction or an energy repulsion. Think about it in that terms. Is your business, take a walk through your business today and say, how does it feel? Would you buy from you? Is your team delivering a good feel? And of course, good feel is important, but the last of these 3, unity, energy, and the third is impeccability. So it feels good, but you also deliver. When you say we're going to do X, that we're going to give you outstanding products and services, you deliver that. You focus on going above and beyond, right, to offer anything that will stand out in the marketplace. Seth Godin, one of the marketing gurus I like to listen to, speaks about this in terms of the remarkable. If your customers haven't been wowed and feel like this is remarkable, that they're going to go speak to their friends about it, you've lost momentum, right? And that comes from both the energy of it and the impeccability, the quality of the product or service. If you buy an iPhone or a laptop computer, or you go to Whole Foods Market or some place you like to buy, generally speaking, the brand represents something that feels good and it delivers on what it says it's going to deliver. Seems kind of simple, but it's amazing in the chaotic world of today with people so busy doing so much that these priorities get, kind of back burnered, and they need to be in the front burner for sure. And there's so much more I could talk about, adding, the sustainability piece and the social responsibility, but it all comes down to the people, planet, and profit model, right? Leaders all focus on how to serve, using unity, energy, and impeccability. Great things can happen. So if I piqued your interest, definitely go to the thread below, look at click on the link for centerforleadershipgroup.com and go to the book page and get my latest book, The Path of the Enlightened Leaders, because it's all about these topics. It's a breakthrough. I also recommend Peter Senge's great book, The Necessary Revolution. Onward by Howard Schultz from Starbucks was a great read. It's a few years old, but it's still terrific. Conscious Capitalism by John Mackey of Whole Foods. Conscious Commerce is a new book out. There's so many of them. Presence by Peter Senge. On and on and on. Get educated and start moving the bar forward. Nothing is worse than the 21st century than being in your old comfort zone, thinking because you've been doing this for 25 years, you know what you're doing. Because things are changing so fast, all of us are getting kind of, antiquated overnight. Stay on the cutting edge. Keep learning. Very, very important. So in wrap up, the leader is we. Remember, it's all about the community and the team. I salute you for being here. Check out my books on my website, and I'm here at your service so I can be of any support with books and programs. Check out on the website the strategic team building and the leadership programs. I can certainly come and work with your team by request. Okay, that's it for now. Bill O'Mara signing off. Take care. Hoorah.